once again delivers contest with significant consequence. The shot coming in, a strong save from Schmidt. Dia underneath it, he got the crucial touch. Schmidt with a brilliant save. Schmidt in the way again, and it's just not happening for Middlesbrough. So there'll be a dramatic twist here. It's headed away by Fry, it's fizzed back in, deflection and in! Chaplin has done it for Portsmouth! They have snatched it deep into stoppage time. Kim Helberg looks stunned. What a 3 points this is for Portsmouth.
A huge 97th minute winner brought the sound of the Blue Army to Teesside. Now another top 6 side awaits as the Tractor Boys head to PO4. With 5 games to go, could John Messino's men bring the noise to Fratton against the promotion-chasing Ipswich? Coming up, the General joins us live on the balcony as we chat to Ibu Adams ahead of his return to the squad. One of our own, Connor Chaplin, on securing a massive 3 points against the Borough. John Messino gives us his thoughts on a clash under the lights with Ipswich. We'll look back on some memorable moments between the two sides. And with that 8 p.m. BST kickoff just under 45 minutes away, we'll bring you your starting 11 for tonight's huge game at Fortress Fratton, plus all the latest news from the South Coast. It's Pompey versus Ipswich Town next. And here is the starting 11 that will take on Kieran McKenna's side. 4 changes from Saturday. Connor Shaughnessy comes in, as does Adrian Segicic, John Swift and Millie Ali. There's no Gustavo Caballero in the squad. Connor Chaplin can't play against his parent club. And Majojo Dia and Keshi Anderson drop to the bench. And Florian Bianchini's in the squad for the first time since November. As for Ipswich, 5 changes for a team hoping to make their automatic promotion hopes more secure tonight. Cedric Kipra, Dan Neal, Casey McAteer, Marcelelo Nunez and Jack Clark come into the starting lineup in place of Leif Davis, Jack Taylor, Ben Johnson, Anis Mehmeti and Jaden Villaging. So good evening, welcome to Fratton Park and to Pompey Plus. After a massive result at the weekend, what can Pompey deliver at home tonight in another huge test? If you're watching us on social media, just a heads up, your coverage ends just before kickoff. So if you want to stick around for the game, head over to Pompey Plus and pick up your match pass. Coverage availability, as always, will depend on your location. My name is George Wedlake, and alongside me on the balcony, we have Gareth Evans and Danny Rose. Gareth, going back to what was quite a game at the weekend against Middlesbrough. For 90 minutes, Pompey dug deep, they held out well, they defended. A point would have been a good result away at Middlesbrough, but in the end, all 3 points were taken home. Not necessarily a game for the history books, but if Pompey were to survive, that's a big chapter in that story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic 3 points. Like you say, George, I think pre-match we would have taken a point, absolutely, going up to Middlesbrough, who were fighting for the automatic promotion places, as we already know. So, yeah, I mean, 3 points on the road is absolutely, snap your hand off for that. It's a fantastic result. As you've already mentioned, not an easy watch. I don't think it'll go down in the history books as a blockbuster, but yeah, hard hat stuff, back to the walls, but the ultimate smash and grab.
Yeah, it was literally that. I mean, away from Connor Chaplin's goal as well, which we will look at in just a moment, Pompey really did dig deep. Defensively, a strong unit. Nico Schmid pulled off one of the performances of the season. Borough had 72% possession, 10 shots on target, but it was Pompey coming away with all 3 points.
Yeah, I think you know when you head into that type of game, you know what type of performance is going to be. No doubt part of the game plan for the coaching team, obviously, going into that game would have been, look, there's going to be moments where we're going to have to defend in a bit of a low block, mid block, and be resolute and put our bodies on the line. And no doubt that Nicholas Smith's going to have to make some fantastic saves like he did. And look, they executed that to a T. And the goal obviously at the end came through a set piece. And when you hang on in games and you're there, thereabouts towards the end of it, you never know what might happen. And obviously the ball fell to the right man at the right time. Yeah,
so let's look at that goal then. Connor Chaplin's screamer at the weekend. We've been critical at times about Pompey and set pieces over the course of the season, but that's 2 set piece goals in the space of a week now for John Messino's men.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. We have to be positive when these moments come along. I mean, what you would have to say is that it's a good ball in by Pack, well defended by Middlesbrough, and it's clear they get the first contact. But the actual contact that Segasic gets on the ball as it comes back out here, I mean, that's a really good contact on the ball. I mean, it's touch and go whether that's going in the bottom corner anyway, but see Connor Chaplin ends up wrong footing the goalkeeper and it goes in. I'm not too sure how much he knew about it, but of course we take moments like that because as you've already mentioned, George, the set piece situation this season has been an issue, but yeah, a bit of banter from Segasic there, thinking that it was his goal, but I don't think we're too fussed about who scored, to be fair.
He was possibly the only person that wasn't entirely happy with how that happened at the end. He was convinced it was going in, wasn't he? But Danny, Pompey had one shot on target throughout that whole match. You look back at the reverse fixture in October, one shot on target against Middlesbrough and a 1-0 victory. If they can keep grinding out results like that against these big sides in the division, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Because you think about it now, they've done the double over Millwall and the double over Middlesbrough.
Yeah, look, you go into those types of games, and like I said before, I think you know what type of performance is going to be and how the game might play out. I think you look at the points total that Portsmouth have taken, certainly against the top 10 teams in the division. You know, it's reasonably evenly spread. Obviously, like you mentioned, Millwall and Middlesbrough, they've done the double over and taken 12 points from those 4 games. But I think that just shows how competitive the Championship is and how, you know, on any given day, if you turn up and you execute a game plan, you can take points off of anybody in the division. So, look, obviously the 20, I think, of the 45 points that Portsmouth have got so far have come from against the top 10 in the division. So, look, it shows that they're competitive against all teams in the division when they get it right.
So let's have a look at the Championship table then coming into tonight. Just one other game taking place this evening as Southampton host Blackburn and look to secure their place in the playoffs. Coventry's place in the top flight next season is all but certain now. Tonight's opposition, Ipswich, 10 points behind them in second. And as for the other end of the table, some big news breaking yesterday that West Bromwich Albion could face a points deduction after being charged with a breach of the EFL's profit and sustainability rules. They're currently a point above Pompey, and Pompey continue to sit above the relegation zone by a point. Gareth, that news on West Brom, it could be significant, but at this moment the Blues can't really rely on external factors like that. They've got to do their job, haven't they?
Yeah, the important word there is could. So we're not too sure what's going to happen. I think it's important from Portsmouth's perspective as a football club and as a team to get all their ducks in a row and try and survive relegation off their own backs, in their own right. And okay, points deductions from other teams is welcome, but we never know what's going to happen in terms of appeals and that sort of thing, so we'll just have to see how that plays out. But I think it's important from this football club's perspective to try and win as many games as they can between now and the end of the season. And I think the other side of that, the other point of that argument would be you don't want to get to the end of the season and survive relegation just on a technicality in terms of, well, these teams have been deducted points and that's why we survive relegation. You want to survive relegation off your own back, and I think that's important.
So we'll let our pundits loose on tonight's team news in just a moment, but now let's look back on that incredible result in Teesside at the weekend and hear the thoughts of one of our own, Connor Chaplin.
Yeah, it was definitely a snatch and grab, as you call. But no, really proud performance, really proud of the boys. I think showed a lot of qualities there that we spoke about recently and that it's going to take to get us to where we want to get to this season. A lot of spirit, a lot of togetherness, a lot of grit. Yeah, I think we showed all sorts today. And then at times like that, you really have to believe that a chance is going to come at some point, because I don't know how many shots we had today. Maybe I don't, 3 was it? Yeah, so you really have to just believe, especially when you get a corner late on. Seg showed good technique, obviously a drop-in ball and a volley into the ground and I don't think any of them wanted to slash it, and it was a little bit like a parting of people really. It just came through everyone, and I think thankfully it got touched because the keeper was scrambling across the goal and probably would have been there, but yeah, any touch in the opposite direction killed the goalie, and yeah, thankfully I didn't know too much about it, to be honest, but yeah, one of relief. I was looking at the lino, which felt like an eternity. Yeah, thankfully I don't think I was offside, and yeah, good celebration, and yeah, it means an awful lot.
Being urged to hit one. Plays it to their number 8, Riley McGree, top of the 18-yard box, into the box now to Malanda. He's my fancier shot, curls it left-footed, deflects onto the roof of the net, and Pompey defending at 6s and 7s here, Borough in the ascendancy. Pompey have held firm all half. It would be a sucker punch if they were to concede now, as Target delivers left-footed towards the back post. It's headed down and straight into the gloves of Schmid. It wasn't the most convincing of holds, but he does enough, Nico Schmid, to get his 2 gloves behind it. Right, 3 red shirts. Bishop then with a poor back pass, and Conway's nicked it past Paul. This is danger for Portsmouth. It's Conway, it's Strelec, it's missed past. Still there for Borough. McGree blocked by Paul to make amends for his earlier mistake. And Portsmouth survive. And what looked like a certain opening goal for Borough. Down below us on this near side. And they work it nicely, and now Brown to Conway, left-hand side, running at Devlin. Conway still going, he's got bodies forward, it's into the box looking for McGree. It might go in anyway, and it's just rolled wide of the post. Jordan Williams slid in to try and make a block, ended up prodding it towards goal, and feeds Segicic down the right-hand side. Callum Britton recovering, Segicic onto his left foot, 30 yards from goal. Pack then plays it wide, looking for Devlin, into a crossing position. Devlin delivers, Bishop flicks it wide of the near post. It's finally a Pompey shot.
Yes.
On the right-hand side though for Borough. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger towards the header. Regan Paul, McGree controls it, shoots left-footed. It's a brilliant save from Schmidt. He's tipped it over the crossbar to keep his side at level terms, 0-0. He tries to play it out to the left-hand side of the box. The Pompey player is back onto his feet now. Brown into Malanda. Again, no shot in the end for Middlesbrough. They try and work it, the shot comes in, it's saved by Schmidt again. Low down, straight into his gloves. It was Sanjay Hansen. Marlon Pack to be the right-footed in-swinging delivery. In comes the corner. It's headed away by Borough. The shot might come in from the edge of the box. It deflects and it's in! The flag stays down and Portsmouth have won it! It's Connor Chaplin who celebrates. The fans are going absolutely crazy.
So from Saturday to tonight, 4 changes from that side you saw against Middlesbrough. Coming in, Connor Shaughnessy, Adrian Segicic, John Swift and Millie Ali. There's no Gustavo Caballero in the squad. Connor Chaplin can't play against his parent club. Majojo Dia, Keshi Anderson, they both dropped to the bench, and Florian Bianchini's in the squad for the first time since November. So Gareth, talk us through those 4 changes then. Obviously with Connor Chaplin not being able to play, we kind of guessed that one would be happening, but the other 3?
Yeah, I mean, John Swift coming in, he's showed quality throughout this season. In moments, I thought he was playing really well. I watched the Wrexham game away. I covered that one for the radio, and he played really well that day. So if he can sort of find his feet and start getting some really good momentum towards now and the end of the season, he could be a key player for Portsmouth. We were unsure whether Shaughnessy or Madiodo Dia was going to play tonight, given the fact that by all accounts Dia played really well on Saturday. So there's a little bit of competition there, but Shaughnessy probably gives a little bit more solidity. So yes, it just shows that we have got some quality and some strength in depth, and when players do come in, we hope that they're going to stand up to the test that's put in front of them.
With Connor Shaughnessy there, Danny, is it just a case of if he's fit and available, he's playing?
I think he's that important to the side. Like you said, if he's fit, he has to be in there. The impact that he has had on the side when he's been in the team is there for all to see, and I think when he hasn't been in the side, then the lack of impact that he's had is there for all to see as well, in terms of his leadership. He's a giant of a man as well, and you need that, I think, in the Championship, particularly in both boxes.
Yeah, and we don't know the reason why Caballero's not in the squad today. He's been working hard. We know how much he likes to run during games, but Segicic coming in there, we feel, covering him on the right rather than as the 10. That's where John Swift's going to be tonight. Yeah,
we think that's where he's going to play. I think Segicic has had some really good moments on that right-hand side. I do think that his best position is playing as a number 10, but injuries and so forth have sort of dictated where he's going to play on that right. But what I do like is when he cuts inside onto that left and he's got Devlin overlapping, that can be a really good link-up and a really good outlet for Portsmouth once it gets into full motion.
Yeah, so the past couple of games we've seen Keshi Anderson start on that left-hand side. Tonight it's going to be Millie Ali. Anderson drops to the bench. What do you think the thinking is there? Because again, much like Caballero, Anderson does work hard, and it's been a congested fixture list for Pompey throughout April already.
Yeah, I know Keshi Anderson quite well. I had 18 months with him at Swindon, and he obviously came in and had a couple of injuries, so I think probably just managing his load, I'd imagine, playing Saturday, Tuesday and then going again. And look, if you're taking Keshi Anderson, you're putting someone in Millie Ali, who's obviously had just as good an impact in the starting 11 as Keshi has. So look, I put it down to just managing load.
Yeah, and Andre Dezau, he was born in Ipswich. He spent 13 years at the club from youth level, going all the way through until 2021, making 93 appearances for them. What's he going to be feeling now?
He'll be feeling emotional, I would imagine, in some capacity. Obviously, when you play against one of your old clubs, then there's always that extra bit of emotion that goes into it. But given the fact that he's from the area and he came through as a youth product. He'll have the bit between his teeth tonight. But to be honest, we always talk about Andre Giselle and what a good performer he is for Portsmouth. I don't think that's going to be any different tonight. Might be a bit of extra bite in his tackles, who knows, we'll see, but no doubt in my mind that he's going to be one of Portsmouth's top performers, because he has been all season.
And we can see Colby Bishop starting up top tonight. Our producer has dug out this stat. He scored more goals, Colby Bishop, in the Football League against Ipswich Town than any other opponent. 6 in total, 3 for Accrington Stanley and 3 for Pompey. He'd enjoy one tonight at the Fratton end, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it would be most welcome this evening, absolutely. Like if that's the case, then sometimes you just have those teams, don't you, that you either score or just play well against, or whatever it might be. So look, if it's tonight that happens, then that'll be most welcome, absolutely.
Looking at Pompey's bench, it's quite attacking by the looks of it. I can pull out Blair, Anderson, Bianchini, Brown and Waddingham, all attacking options for later on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if we need to put on something in an attacking sense to get something out of the game, or we've certainly got that on the bench. I mean, the introduction now being Bianchini back into the side, and say Keshi Anderson and Brown as well. You know, there's loads of players that can come in and offer something in an attacking sense. I think that's a conscious effort from John to have that number of attacking players on the bench. Should he require any sort of attacking impetus towards the end of the game.
And we have to talk about Nico Schmid as well, man of the match performance. We rated him as that at the weekend. I mean, he put in some massive saves tonight, and you feel he's going to be quite busy tonight as well.
Yeah, he's been so influential throughout the season, hasn't he? And what's impressed me most has been his resilience. I think that's been quite important throughout the season. Obviously, I think he would probably admit that he had a big part in the Oxford second goal in terms of where he handled the ball, and he's had a couple of moments throughout the season where he's had to bounce back and he's had to be mentally strong, and he's done that in abundance, and we took that into Middlesbrough on Saturday. He was absolutely fantastic, so there's no doubt that that's going to give him confidence going into tonight's fixture.
So let's get some news on a couple of absentees then from the squad tonight. So it's been confirmed that Zach Swanson has undergone knee surgery and will miss out on the rest of the season, and Conor Ogilvy's red card appeal was unsuccessful. The left back will be missing the next 2 games, with a return on the 21st of April against Coventry. Gareth, 2 massive players to be out at such a crucial time for Pompey.
They're huge players for Portsmouth, as you can see with the stats there. I mean, they've contributed so much since they've come into the football club. They're such good servants for the football club. They're always make themselves available, albeit we know that one is out through injury now and the other one's out through suspension, but the versatility is what's impressed me most, to be honest, and the fact that Ogilvy's been able to play at centre back, at left back. He's had moments where he's pushed it into midfield, and the same with Swanson. So they've shown that they've got the football intelligence to play in a variety of different positions. That's what makes them so important to the football club.
So let's have a look at how tonight's opposition line up then, the Tractor Boys. So Danny, 5 changes for Ipswich tonight. Talk us through what's going on there.
Yeah, like you mentioned, 5 changes to the team with Kipri, Neal, McAteer, Nunez and Clark coming into the side. Davis, Taylor, Johnson, Mehmeti and Philogene, most notably not in the squad at all. So look, from the bench. So look, some noticeable absentees from the starting 11. Wasn't expected, given that they had such a positive result on the weekend. Obviously the local derby against Norwich, 2-0 away. It was a really difficult place to go and get a result, considering the form that Norwich are in. And you look at the balance of the squad, I think it will still be the same shape, obviously 4-2-3-1 that they've adopted, quite consistently over the course of the season. But Clark and Hurst, are ones that come to mind. We're looking at that starting 11, 14 goals Jack Clark's got from either the middle of midfield or if he's played in a wider position. And obviously George Hurst, who's well known, to the Fratton faithful here, and you know what he's all about. He's obviously a target man, but also can move and can run and can stretch defences, and he'll try and take Shaughnessy down the sides, which he won't want to go to. So look, they've got some strength in depth clearly, and with those guys going out of the side, you look at their bench and you think, wow, the likes of Philogene, £20 million player, played Champions League, in a couple of years ago, and it's a player that's obviously going to be impactful from the substitutes bench.
Yeah, we can feel quite relieved that there's no Jaden Philogene or Anis Mehmeti. They've both got 10 championship goals this season. Mehmeti's already scored twice against Pompey for Bristol City on both of the fixtures this season. And Jayden Philogene, he's one of those players that he's just going to go on to bigger and better things one day.
Yeah, like he's vastly experienced for such a young man already. I think he's 25 years old, 24. Like I mentioned, he started at Aston Villa, obviously went to Hull, and then I think Aston Villa had a buyback clause and they bought their own player for £20 million. So, look, a £20 million player played in the Championship. You think he's going to have some talent, and he certainly does. And the numbers that he's produced this season, speak for themselves. He's a real tricky winger, and when he does come onto the pitch, I expect he will. I mean, Devlin's going to have his work cut out because he usually plays off that left. Another notable absentee is Leif Davis. So in terms of the makeup, I think, of their squad, with Kipre coming in at left back, who's not as forward thinking as Leif Davis. He's more of he's played at centre back before when he was previously at Wigan. So a slightly different makeup in terms of how they attack, I believe.
Yeah, and I think Darragh O'Shea as well. He's one of those players that you just can't help but admire. He's the captain. He's played 90 minutes week in, week out, every game this season for Ipswich, a Republic of Ireland international. He's just a sturdy Championship centre-back, isn't he?
I think you need those types of players, in your season that are, really consistent over the course of 46 games. Obviously, a number of cut games as well, and certainly in that position at centre-back where, you're in the spine of the team, and it's such an important position. If you've got a player or a couple that are there week in, week out, and have seen it and done it before, and got international experience, like you mentioned, then that can only bode well for that team.
So let's see how the two teams stack up on paper then and get the stats. Danny, it's no secret that Ipswich are one of the best teams in the league right now. Where do they offer the biggest threat for you?
I mean, Ipswich's threat, no doubt, is in the wide areas. The likes of Clark and McAteer, who obviously a young player who's come into the side recently and got some joy. So it's certainly in those areas. Obviously, balls into Hurst's feet, and they try to link and combine from those areas, and then get runs beyond with McAteer and Clark. So look, Furlong as well at right back. A really athletic, gets up and down, much like you did, Gaz, in your heyday. But
Thanks,
got goals and assists as well. So looking to see him get in the final third, very often over the course of the game.
So we've heard from our pundits. Then get in touch and let us know what you make of today's lineups, and we want to hear your score predictions as well. Can Pompey pull off what they did on Saturday here against Ipswich Town tonight? We can't take your calls, but send anything else to us via WhatsApp. The number is 07457 413 694, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and it's at Pompey on X. So whilst you're getting your messages in, let's hear from the head coach, John Messino. He spoke to the press yesterday all about that result at the weekend.
The points were the most important thing, and it's given us a big boost in terms of the league position. Just before the final whistle, I know we obviously dropped into the bottom three. Didn't know at the time, but dropped into the bottom three because of Oxford's result. So picking up the result, I think getting the momentum off the back of that, playing in a different way and actually winning away from home against the top side was really pleasing. We sort of have to take all the context of that game into account. We're playing against the side who've been in the top two for 90% of the season, 95% of the season. Very good team. In their run over the past few weeks where they haven't won as many games as they'd like to, they have really battered sides and they've been unlucky to not score more goals. So on a big pitch with the circumstances that we were facing, which to be honest is the last away performance before Norwich, we'd been beaten 6-1 at QPR, and we hadn't won in 8, so it was a very different approach that we had to take, particularly with the personnel that we've got available as well. So we decided to do it in a different way, and I thought the lads executed that brilliantly well. Something a bit different. It's not something we've done a huge amount this season, but I guess it was effective enough to get us the result, and that's all that matters. Yeah, I think the circumstances of the goal and probably coupled with how frustrated Connor's been with his lack of goals this year compared to what he usually has produced over the past few seasons. But yeah, just such an important goal for the football club, and Connor had I thought a very good afternoon. He put in a huge amount of work, constantly landed on second balls, kept us ticking over, and yeah, deserved the goal. And really felt great for Nick off the back of probably some criticism that he's had over the past couple of weeks, and he's been really working hard to make sure his performance levels are there. And to be honest, that's the reason we've stuck by him and kept him in the side. His ability to do what he did at the weekend. We had seen quite a fair bit of last year. Probably not had to see a huge amount of that this year, which has been a positive. But when he was called upon at the weekend, he did a brilliant job. And this is the 4th time we prepared for Ipswich this year. I watch a lot of Ipswich anyway, so I'm pretty familiar with the way that they play. Have done over the past few seasons, because they've been excellent in League One, excellent in the Championship, and they're a very, very good side. I think they've got better, having got promoted to the Premier League and coming back down and built the squad off the back of that. I think they've built an extremely strong squad with 2 and sometimes 3 players in positions, play a very distinct way, and it's very, very difficult to play against. So clearly, one of the form sides. They've picked up this season. They've got better and better as the season went on. It's going to be a really tough test.
So our guest on the Pompey Plus balcony today only arrived on the South Coast in January, and he's already become a firm favourite with the fans. Ebu Adams could be back in action for the Blues as soon as this Saturday, but in the meantime we're delighted to have him with us on the show, making up a really strong midfield contingent from what I can work out as well on the balcony. Ebu, thanks for coming up. To start with, the injury then, talk us through it, and how are you feeling at the moment?
Getting there, feeling better. First and foremost, thank you for having me. The injury is a bit of a shock. I'm not really someone that's equal to injuries, but it happens as part of the game. And do you know what? At first, I was fearing the worst, and I have some luck on my side, and hopefully I can play again.
Yeah, so it wasn't as bad as first feared, but the timing of it off the back of that result, you could see that you were quite upset post-match.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed. The scoreline didn't really resemble the game, but I was at 4-1. I was thinking to myself, we can still get something in the game, and then I've launched for a tackle, leg got stuck in the ground, opened up a can of worms for me and myself, and then do you know what? As a player on that pitch, I was thinking the worst, and my emotions got to me, and it happened. But look, got past it now, and looking forward to the light end of the tunnel. And
we said it at the top there, you've only been here for a few months, but the fans have really taken to you. You're a real favourite with them, and you can tell that you enjoy playing as well, with a smile on your face. Why was it the right time to leave Derby? Because obviously you've enjoyed quite a bit of success with them.
Look, it's hard to say. There's never a right time to leave a club, really. But look, as long as I left the club on a high, I think that's the main thing. And then I got good reviews from them from Derby to here, and all I wanted to do was I thought a ball was coming towards me. Look, it's good to get reviews and then to showcase what I can do. And look, for me, I just want to enjoy playing football, and hopefully the fans can take a liking to me, and they have, and it makes me want to play better football.
Yeah, and you very quickly found your way into the starting 11 as well. John Messino seemed to take to you quite early on. How does that feel?
To be fair, he's been wanting to sign me for the last 2-3 years. So I think that's more than enough. And I think that I've got to give credit to myself a little bit, because he's been wanting to sign me for a while, and he's hated to play against me, and he's always spoke to me after the games, I hate playing against you, and to be on his side and to get that back in from a gaffer, I think that's really good, and that itself gives me a lot of confidence.
Well, I'm happy for John. He finally got his man at the club anyway, is what he wanted. But soon after joining the club, you played in possibly the biggest fixture you can get here, the South Coast Derby at Fratton Park. How much did you know about that going into the game?
Honestly, I didn't know much about it. I knew it was a derby, but I didn't know it was that big. I remember doing an interview before for the Watford game, and they kept asking me about the Southampton game. I went, you do know we got a game before that, right? They were like, no, this game is huge. So I've had to go around the training ground. I had to ask Marlon Pack, look, I know this game is huge, but can you let me know what's up? And he sent me like a 50-minute documentary. Luckily, I was by myself in the hotel. I managed to watch it all, and honestly, from then, I just now I know what it means to the fans, that I want to give him something to repay back, and to score in it is crazy, because words can't describe how I was feeling, and to run that full length of that pitch. Look, I'm not doing that again, but it was well worth it.
So we'll talk about your goal in a minute. I'm sure everyone will want to see that back again. But talk to us about the day then. What's it like going into a game like that? Because you all travelled in as a unit, right, as a team?
Yeah, it's completely different to a normal game. You're kind of in your own bubble, really, and the team, you're kind of picking yourself up. But I think for me as a player, I don't really try not to think about the game too much, because then you think of so many different scenarios. I don't know, maybe I score a hat-trick, or it can go the wrong way, I can get a red card. There's so many different scenarios. I kind of don't put myself in that situation, just focus on what I'm doing, or enjoy what I'm playing Candy Crush on my phone and stuff like that, just so I can get my mind off it. But no, you think of it, and as soon as the final whistle, the first whistle goes, I'm in the zone, and nothing can stop me, really.
There you go, kids. If you want to be a pro footballer, just play Candy Crush. That's all you need to do. And you quickly cemented yourself into Derby folklore as well, scoring the equaliser here. Talk us through that goal then. Screamer.
I'm comparing it to the same goal as Maradona's. But no, the corner come in, and I fancy myself at all times. I was holding up a player, and as you can see there, and once I see the ball in the air, look, I just fancy myself. And even if it's a 50-50 or 60-40 against me, I'm going for it. And you know, I'm grateful I went for it. And look, the celebration itself says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games. What was the roar like from the crowd when you heard that one go in? Did you know at that moment what you'd done?
No. Like, watching it back, I'm like, you're a crazy guy. But no, it's one of them things, like, as a player watching it back, like, those are the memories you want to give yourself, and like, you want to give them memories to the fans as well. And it's crazy because after the game, all the fans are like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm like, all I'm doing is just playing football, being a kid and enjoying myself. I'm just living probably another kid's dream, and I'm my own dreaming as well, just playing football and everyone enjoying me playing. Yeah,
and just a game later as well, you scored a second goal for Pompey, just like that, 2-2. And what was that like for you, that West Brom game? Because that was quite the day here, wasn't it?
Do you know, since I joined the club, I think the team itself been playing very good football, and I think the annoying thing for that is to get the ball in the back of the net, and in any game of football, it's the most difficult thing. And from that game, from that day onwards, everyone was playing with full confidence, and like, I can't describe it. It's just annoying. I'm annoying in this situation right now, but it is what it is. But like, I'm just enjoying football, and I got to thank the fans, the manager, the staff, the players, because like, it's never easy to come in the club in January and just do well, let alone just settle in. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and obviously we saw some good moments there, but not every result has gone Pompey's way this season, and at the moment the club are finding themselves in a bit of a relegation battle. How are you managing that as a player?
I've been in it. I'm sure we've all been in it. And listen, all you can do is focus on yourselves. Don't worry about other teams. Like, my friend rang me the other day and said, look, you're in a bit of a pickle. You've got some tough games coming up. I went, honestly, I don't care. It's all about us. As long as we win our games, I can't look at anyone else. There's no point in looking at the table after you lost a game. You're still where you are where you are. But if you win a game, I think that gives a bit of confidence in the team, the squad. And look, before you know it, you start believing in yourself again. Yeah,
and Gaz, I know you've got a question for Ibu tonight.
Yeah, Ibu, I was really lucky in my time at the football club to play with some fantastic midfielders, not least Danny Rose stood with us right here. The other one that sticks out in my mind is Michael Doyle, who's now your set-piece coach. What sort of impact has he had on you from a technical or tactical point of view, or anything in between since you joined the football club?
Do you know what? I don't know if you realise, like, before every game, me and Doyle are speaking to each other, and he's helping me out with the little things, technical, tactical, set pieces and whatnot. And ever since I walked into the club, I've taken a liking to him, and he's helped me out so much. And I've got to take everything he says into me and use it. And he's, like I said, he's a quality player. And he's got the quality in training as well. So maybe not the fitness, but no, he's helped me out a lot, and I think that's massive. Because, like I said, a player coming in, you don't know what to expect, and I'm soaking it up like a sponge.
What level Candy Crush you on?
1,324. I'm just playing it as we got in.
No, in terms of this football club, I think no matter what experience you have, if it's a positive or a negative experience as a player, it does something to you, and it can capture your heart. At what point did it capture your heart? Was it early? Is it today? When was it?
Honestly, I'll be honest, it's when I first got on the pitch. Because the player I am, I tried to be a leader in a way of how I play. As soon as I got in at Chef Wednesday, I was barking orders, and the response I got from Terry, Bishop, Marlon, Segish at the time, I'm like chapping it as well. And I thought to myself, wow, like, they've taken a liking to me, and because of that, it makes me be myself again. And like I said, I can only factor in the way I'm playing, because there's a lot of things to play well as a footballer and to enjoy yourself. And then those are the little things, like family side, fans taking a liking to you. And look, I only can thank the fans and the players, because if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'll be playing as well as I am or enjoying football.
Good. Thank you.
So talk us through your celebration then. Where did that come from?
I don't know. It's just I've done it once, and then everyone's just taking a liking to it. And the way I play, I like to dominate games physically, tactically, and technically as well. So, and I see myself as a general, and once the general goes around dictating and dominating games, and I think it's a little weird one, but as long as you win your battles, that's me. So
you feel like the nickname everybody's given you, the general, that suits your style of play, your style of play quite well?
Oh yeah, definitely. On and off the pitch. So like, I want to be a leader in a way. It may be talking or the way I play. As long as I'm having a positive impact on the team, that's all I care about.
And what's the mood like in the camp currently? Because that was a massive result on Saturday, but there's some tough tests coming up from now to the end of the season.
Do you know what? It was the same before that. Even wins do have an impact on our emotions or whatnot. But I think what I've been happy with the team is everyone's still believing, no matter what. Even though we're playing well, we haven't won. Sometimes that happens. It's part of football, but you don't want to sleepwalk into the situation you're in now. But then there's games where you don't play well and you win, and look, you probably enjoy them ones more than actually playing well and winning 3-0. Do you know what I mean? So, and I watched it on Saturday. I didn't enjoy watching it, but to say you got 3 points from it, one of the best things to do.
And although you haven't played in Ipswich in a Pompey shirt, you have been involved against them earlier on this season. How tricky is tonight going to be, do you think?
No, look, every test in the championship is different. Like I believe our team are at 100%. Like, they've got good individual players. They've got a good team. Like, they expect us to be up there. But then I think that's the case for us. Look, you've got nothing to lose now. Go enjoy yourself and enjoy yourself and do what you can do. And before you know it, you can end up winning the game.
Can we get a score prediction from you tonight?
Be careful.
This is one of the hardest questions, I don't think. I'm going 2-1. 2-1 Pompey.
I'm sure we'll take that. Ibu, thank you so much for your time. All the best for your recovery as well. We really do hope to see you back out there soon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Hopefully see you guys soon.
Thank you very much. So these two sides tonight have certainly been involved in some memorable clashes over the years, especially in the FA Cup. So let's have a look back at some of those big cup clashes with Ipswich Town.
Side that had drawn against Preston in the Championship 3 days earlier, and it showed, and the South Coast club deservedly made the breakthrough just after the half-hour mark. Peter Malicic bringing down Gary Roberts in the area, penalty awarded. Roberts picked himself up and converted the spot kick himself against his former club, despite Balkowski's best efforts. The Tractor Boys were unbeaten in their past 15 trips to Portsmouth in all competitions, a record stretching back to 1966, but that looked in further jeopardy when Gareth Evans made space on the right, his cross finding McNulty, the on-loan Sheffield United forward heading home his 8th of the season. Ipswich had been eliminated in each of their past 2 FA Cup ties against lower-ranked opposition, but with half an hour remaining, they rescued some hope of this fixture not becoming 3. Arsenal loanee Ainsley Maitland-Niles evading challenges before his pinpoint drive reduced the deficit. However, things didn't end well for the visitors, and Malicic in particular. Having given away a penalty for the opening goal, the Pole then received a second yellow for a foul on Roberts, followed by the inevitable red. Portsmouth easily saw out the remainder of the game against 10 men Ipswich. Their reward for the upset, a South Coast derby at home to Premier League Bournemouth. 2-1 the final score.
They made a good start, Portsmouth. They've got 2 over this free kick, Pring and Curtis. Curtis will take. Oh, and it's gone in! David Cornell couldn't get across quickly enough to keep that one out. And Ronan Curtis has his 6th goal of the season. He's pulled it back for Naylor, and there's number 2. That took a big deflection off 19-year-old Mark McGuinness on its way through. Naylor won't care, he'll want to claim it, but Portsmouth have a 2-goal lead. We've only been playing 13 minutes. Ipswich need to regroup at half-time. It's gone forward here. Raggett can't clear. Nolan, he's pulled one back. Ipswich needed that. They've been so ordinary in this first half. Gleisen. Cleared by Lancia. Lovely ball from Sears, and Norwood is in here, and Norwood has scored! Brilliant finish from the sub. From 2 down, Ipswich have drawn level. Harness with the set piece, plenty forward here for Portsmouth. Naylor's header, kept out, but then helped in. Nicolaisen with the first effort. Raggett was in there too. And between them, they've restored Portsmouth's lead.
So just over 5 minutes to go until kick-off. The atmosphere is really picking up now in PO4. Gaz, the team are obviously going to be riding high, the fans as well, off the back of what happened at the weekend. How much momentum can they take forward into tonight?
I think you can take a good deal of momentum. Obviously, get the front faithful involved, get the atmosphere up, really take it to Ipswich tonight, really take confidence from the fact that they've competed with a team in Middlesbrough that's competing for automatic promotion. Exactly what they're going to do tonight, so use that as momentum, use that as confidence, and take it forward into tonight's fixture.
And Danny, there's no dressing this up. We're playing against a team that have scored 30 more goals than Pompey tonight. We saw how resolute the Blues can be at the back. We saw it against Middlesbrough for 86 minutes. They're going to have to bring some of that into tonight as well.
Yeah, of course. I think we mentioned it at the top of the show. Is at times there'll be that type of game where they will have to be resolute, like you mentioned, be compact and put their bodies on the line and have that game plan to try and be hard to break down. But equally, can Portsmouth impose themselves? Can they use the crowd and that momentum? Can they start fast like they do more often than not here at Fratton Park and go a goal ahead? And I think that'd be something that could give us some impetus and something to hold on to.
Again, it was a relatively defensive display at the weekend. Away at the Riverside, it was always going to be. But tonight we're back at Fratton Park. But again, this is Ipswich Town we're talking about here. How much can Pompey afford to play on the front foot?
I just think I've seen it so many times at Fratton where Portsmouth starts slowly and they're a little bit in a mid-block or a low block and sort of inviting the opposition team on. I just don't think it ever goes well. I think that you have to use the crowd like Danny's just alluded to, play on the front foot, start fast and really try and get after whoever comes here. And I mean, I know that it's Ipswich and like you say, they've scored 30 odd more goals than Portsmouth this season, but go after them, play with a positive attitude, use the momentum for the weekend, try and get a goal up and get a goal up or two up. That gives you something to hang on and then you can start thinking about alternate tactically and being a bit more defensively. But from the outset, I think Portsmouth should go for the throat.
And you can tell the fans are up for this one tonight. They're in a great mood. I've just seen behind you, it took Ebu Adams a good size 10 minutes to make his way down the Milton end. He was being absolutely mobbed. I'm surprised he managed to make his way down in time. As a player, Danny, you've played at Fratton Park numerous times over the years. Can you just sum it up what this feels like?
I mean, me and Gaff were speaking off air about what you would do to be back, just in the tunnel now, knowing that you can hear the crowd, you can hear the chimes, you do anything to be back, back to take the pitch under the lights. It's a feeling, it's really hard to describe, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's the moment that I certainly miss the most. I think Gaz is the same. It's a really special moment to, playing under the lights at Fratton Park.
Well, you're still lucky enough to have done that. Some of us haven't had the same fortune as you. We would have liked it, we just weren't good enough, too slow. But this is Pompey's game in hand tonight. It's obviously one that hasn't happened the first or second time of asking. But how much do they need to make it count, this game in hand? Because we've been using it a lot when we've looked at the league table, thinking Pompey have still got a game in hand. They need to make it count. But again, it's Ipswich, they're second.
I think it's a difficult one for the manager to frame, but I'll be really intrigued to know how he's gone about it in terms of, is it just a free hit to go out there and, and like Gaz mentioned, just go after whoever the opposition is and try and get 3 points. I just see it as a fantastic opportunity to try and get that 3 points, and obviously no matter who it's against. Likewise for Ipswich, it's a game in hand for them as well, of which they got 2 against Millwall, who obviously beneath them. But look, fantastic opportunity for Portsmouth here to really get after Ipswich and get 3 points.
So let's soak up some of this famous Fratton atmosphere. The players are emerging onto the pitch and out of the tunnel. Let's get a sense of what's going on in PO4 this evening. Okay, so we've got a massive message here from Tom. Said it's a tough ask, I know, but 2 home wins this week and we're all but safe. To be even considering that after the QPR game is incredible. I think he speaks for a lot of Pompey fans there, Gareth. That QPR game, we all want to forget about it, but it's something to learn from. And, the performances since then, it feels like the team have certainly learned from it in a good way.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, we want to talk about that QPR game as little as possible, but I think if you can use it as a benefit and think about how we can take any sort of positives from it and turn the season around off the back of that, change the momentum around for the season and take that into the next remaining 5 or 6 games, that's going to be huge, so we can use it to our benefit for sure.
And a very quick score prediction.
2-1 Pompey.
2-1.
2-2.
A 2-2. Okie doke, that's it from us until half time. If you're watching on social media, head over to Pompey Plus and pick up your match pass to watch or listen to the game depending on your region. Can Pompey find 3 crucial points at home for the first time since January as they host Ipswich at Fratton Park next?